The statement also echoed a broader theme in Russia's messaging that Western involvement has been the driving force behind Ukraine's alignment with NATO. By emphasizing that the possibility of foreign troops was a root cause, Putin tried to shift blame away from Moscow's invasion and onto Washington, Brussels and their partners. Observers in Vladivostok noted how carefully Putin delivered his remarks, avoiding theatrics, but speaking with a gravity designed to resonate far beyond Russia's borders. His comments were not just for domestic audiences, but for policymakers in Berlin, Paris, London, and especially Washington. Diplomats quickly interpreted the warning as part of a wider Kremlin strategy, one that mixes military threats with diplomatic messaging. The goal, to raise the stakes for Western decision-makers, forcing them to weigh the risks of escalation before making commitments about Ukraine's security. At the same time, Putin's choice to deliver these remarks in Vladivostok carried its own symbolism. The city, situated in Russia's far east, hosts the Eastern Economic Forum, a platform where Moscow seeks to project strength, cultivate Asian partnerships, and present itself as a global power resistant to Western isolation. By speaking there, Putin linked Russia's economic outreach in Asia with its military defiance in Europe. The broader context cannot be ignored. Just days earlier, European leaders in Paris had debated their own role in Ukraine's future security, with some countries signaling readiness to send non-combat forces if a ceasefire or peace deal were struck. France, Germany, and Poland had all faced domestic debates about whether Europe can afford to leave security guarantees solely to the United States. For Putin, those signals were enough to justify another warning. In his telling, the very notion of Western troops in Ukraine validates Russia's original fears of NATO encroachment. The message was clear: Moscow will not distinguish between combat and peacekeeping forces if they set foot on Ukrainian soil. Military analysts point out that this stance leaves little room for ambiguity. If NATO or European troops were to deploy, Russia might target them directly, raising the spectre of open conflict between nuclear-armed powers. This, in turn, could force Western leaders to rethink not just strategy, but the entire framework of their support for Ukraine. Still, the Kremlin's posture is not entirely new. Since the earliest days of the war, Russian officials have insisted that Western involvement turns Ukraine into a proxy battlefield. What makes Putin's latest statement significant is its timing, delivered at a moment when allies are openly discussing long-term commitments that could extend far beyond military aid and weapons deliveries. For Kyiv, the words are both a warning and a reminder of the stakes. Ukrainian leaders continue to press for stronger Western guarantees, arguing that without them, Russia will simply regroup and attack again.